Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting in a Fan, and in the interest of full disclosure, the fan is off because I was feeling a little nippy even at the lowest setting. And good afternoon, because we are doing a daytime series. We're actually not doing a daytime series, just so happens that we're going to record 9 videos. This is video number 3 out of 9. And they're in the daytime, which we almost never have a chance to do for a variety of reasons, but this time we have the opportunity. So right now the time is approximately 2:49 p.m. Eastern Time, and the date is Thursday, February 23rd, 2023. I need to take a sip of my coffee. I make good coffee, so you know. So let's try that again. So it is Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. It is the day after Ash Wednesday, which is the day after Mardi Gras, or Fat Tuesday. The moon is waxing in Aries. Right. I've been saying this for 2 videos in a row. How come I don't remember now? Yes, the moon is waxing in Aries and the sun is transiting in Pisces. Sun energy. Okay, so this is the March 2023 entry for the Llewellyn's 2023 Tarot Calendar series of YouTube videos, courtesy of yours truly, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting in a Fan, but there's no lighting right now, there's no fan right now. The lighting is provided by the sun in spite of the cloudy day. So here is the close-up of the gorgeous cover. I love the combination of that rich purple and that gold. And here is the close-up of the back of the calendar. And I'm going to have Drake do a close-up of the March 2023 entry. March, yes. Now I want to tell you something. So recently I found out that Cirque du Tarot was written by Lisa Robertson. Now I happen to love her Mermaid Tarot, and I happen to love her Soul Cats Tarot. Granted, she wasn't the artist, but she wrote the books for those 2 tarot decks. So knowing that Lisa Robertson wrote the book for this tarot deck, I might actually buy the tarot deck. It did not draw me initially, but you know, I just might. Now, I will tell you I'm not a fan of clowns. And I say that a bit reluctantly because I have a friend who is a professional clown. So, you know, I just find them to be creepy. And in case you're wondering, no, I have not watched either It movie, both the original 2-part miniseries TV movie in the 70s, as well as the more modern It, and I haven't watched It 2, and no, I have yet to read the book. One of the things that I love about Stephen King is that if I need to stay awake, I can read his books and I'll be fine. And make no mistake, if I read It, I will not sleep for 3 days. Still remember the first time I read Pet Sematary. I averaged 2, maybe 3 hours a night. So, we have a little bit about the Hierophant. We have the astrology section, and we have when routine becomes a rut. I'm going to read this last because I'm going to save the best for last because this is an excellent article. So, the Hierophant from the Cirque du Tarot. The Hierophant understands how things work. Her tried and true methods bring order to chaos and lead to a smooth execution of plans. She is a reminder that you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. And of course, you know, the fact that the Hierophant card is astrologically aligned with the sun sign Taurus makes so much sense given that blurb, because many of the sun sign Taurians that I've met, especially the ones born in May, I'm pretty sure that in my life I have met at least one April Taurus, but I'm not remembering who that person is offhand. But May Taurians I've met in abundance. In fact, I have actually met and I know 3 people whose birthday is May 10th. That is not a coincidence by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, astrology. The Hierophant card is connected to Taurus, signifying our need for stability, our values, and our comfort. All Taurian attributes, all Taurian concerns, all Taurian issues. This card encourages us to create lasting practices that support our values. We establish daily rituals that center us in our beliefs so we can act accordingly. I'm going to read that again for emphasis. We establish daily rituals that center us in our beliefs so we can act accordingly. These same repeated actions bring us comfort in times of distress and stability in times of chaos. Now, I want to tell you, I distinctly remember, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I love this article so much. Now, for the record, I have yet to read it. I'll be reading it for the first time during this video. But I remember when I used to offer metaphysical classes, there was a class that I used to offer. And the gist of the class was turning routines into rituals. It was about bringing mindfulness, or more specifically, magical mindfulness into all the things that people do on a regular basis. And I always use the example of orange juice. You know, orange juice is made from oranges. Orange is a solar fruit. Because if you look at an orange, it looks like a miniature sun. So one of the things that I would teach using this example would be to visualize that glass filled with liquid sunlight and using that as a way of energizing one's day. And of course, thinking about the Sun card in Lenormand, it's also about bringing success into one's day. And of course, the Sun has so many different interpretations in tarot, never mind Lenormand, or even an oracle deck for that matter. So this is definitely very important to keep in mind. And of course, given who the Barbara Moore is, these are 5 guidelines to bring one's tarot practice out of a dull rut and into an exciting ritual. So, with that being said, when routine becomes a rut, rituals and routine ground us, but they can also strangle us if we don't engage with them mindfully. Drake knows all too well, or rather Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos, knows all too well how I feel about mindfulness, both the word and the practice. A tarot rut dulls your enthusiasm and energy, leading to lifeless readings. So here are 5 guidelines courtesy of the Barbara Moore to bring more enthusiasm, more energy, and more passion into one's tarot practices so that it goes from being a dull rut to an exciting and energizing ritual. Number 1, read for new people. By the way, I am absolutely open and receptive to new clients. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. When we read for the same types of people, our listening skills get flabby. New lifestyles and new problems force us to listen more closely and encourage us to look at the cards in different ways. So for those of you who are not offering tarot readings professionally, perhaps you might want to join a subreddit, or you might want to post an advertisement or a blurb or what have you in an online website or some kind of message board or forum on a website. There is there's a city not too far from where I live that has a community bulletin board. And I've put my business cards there a few times, but nobody's reached out to me. And there's a cafe that reopened in my area, and one of my business cards is on the bulletin board. It's actually not a bulletin board. It's one of those cardboard boards that you can tack things onto them, whatever those are called. I know they have a name. So, you could always put the word out there. And for those of you who do offer readings professionally, perhaps you might want to post your offerings in a different website or in a place that you normally wouldn't, as a way of shaking up the routine. New lifestyles and new problems force us to listen more closely and encourage us to look at the cards in different ways. One way that I have done that, have I experienced that, is actually number 2, read with a different deck. Because there are certain interpretations in certain decks for the same card that I will not get in other decks. And a perfect example is, actually, I'm not remembering the entirety of the example, but I will tell you that there are some tarot decks that I use. I will get almost always the traditional meanings for those cards. And let's say the Fairy Tarot, one of the Fairy Tarots, I get different interpretations for each of those cards every single time. It's wild. I love it. Number 2, read with a different deck. New images invite us into the unknown, the liminal, where we can discover fresh wisdom. Now, we all know there are a bazillion YouTube channel content creators out there, and Simon of the Hermit's Cave, I'm looking at you, that offer so many different walkthroughs of different decks. So there's no shortage. And and for those of you who don't necessarily watch walkthrough videos on YouTube, or don't want to watch them for whatever reason or reasons, because you don't want to be enabled or what have you, you might want to look at a deck that you're on the fence about. Like here I am looking at the Cirque du Tarot, and I'm starting to look at it differently, meaning that I might actually acquire this deck. And knowing that Lisa Robertson wrote it, I just might. What's a deck that you wouldn't normally read with? I remember so many YouTube channel content creators being especially excited about the Wild Unknown Tarot. Now, I will tell you, I have nothing against Kim Krans. I think she's brilliant. And I will tell you that when I look at the cards from her deck, I don't have the deck. Drake has that deck. It's his very first tarot deck, actually. I believe it's his first tarot deck. He has a few now, so, it's like, I look at them, I'm like, what's this? Or, oh, those are some pretty colors, and what's this? That's my relationship with the Wild Unknown Tarot. I wish that I could get into it as much as so many other people online have gotten into it, but it really doesn't do it for me. Interestingly enough, her oracle card decks really do it for me. And she actually has a new one that I have yet to give Drake. Once I give him that one, he will now have every Kim Krans deck in existence. So, but I digress. So, ask yourselves, what's a deck that I wouldn't normally read with? And make that your next deck purchase, and see what it can offer you with regards to looking at things in a new way and looking at things differently. Number 3, get readings from others. I am available. It's inspiring to see how other readers do readings. Yes, it is. You may learn an approach you never thought of or discover a way to improve a favorite technique. And that has happened for me the few times that I have readings. Number 4, teach someone. For that, I am unavailable because I don't offer metaphysical classes, group or private, in person or online anymore. Teach someone. One of the best ways to learn is to teach. This is so true. Explain your methods to someone. This usually reveals any gaps in our knowledge, offering us the chance to learn. And with that, number 5, read books or take classes. When we feel certain of our beliefs or card meanings, we forget there are many ideas we've not encountered yet. No matter how long you've been a student of tarot, there is always more to learn. And that's one of the reasons why I love tarot, why I love card reading systems, why I love magic and witchcraft, because there is always something to learn. When we make commitments to those practices, to those studies, and to any other practices and studies, we do become a lifelong student of those practices and studies and those paths, if you will. I mean, I know that for me, with regards to Lenormand, I've currently read 5 or 6 Lenormand books. And I know that it's only a matter of time before I read another one. And reading Lenormand books has been so exciting for me. It's been so fulfilling for me. And the one that I recently finished reading, I must admit, I did not expect to learn something new about Lenormand, and I did. I had mixed feelings about that book, especially the chapter about the cards, because there were some interpretations for some of the cards that I'm like, this is the first book that talks about that. So, you know. But anyway, but I will tell you that there's always something to learn, and there's always a way to expand your knowledge in this case, tarot. So I want to tell you, I love this article. I love this article, and these guidelines are excellent. Now, in the description box, I will not transcribe this in its entirety, but I will include the key points. So, number 1, read for new people. Number 2, read with a different deck. Number 3, get readings from others. Number 4, teach someone. Number 5, read books or take classes. Let me know in the comments which ones you are doing now and which ones you have already committed yourself to begin doing. I would love to hear that, especially because you may inspire me. And with that, I want to thank... Well, at first I want to thank Llewellyn Publications for publishing another Llewellyn's Tarot Calendar. I mean, these make me happy. They just make me so very happy, and I am so excited that they've chosen to publish another one, because I want to tell you, it just makes me happy. Especially, as I've said in numerous videos before this one, it was a decade between the last publication of their previous Tarot Annual and the publication of their newest, this Tarot Annual. So the fact that they have resumed publishing a Tarot Annual makes me incredibly happy. And of course, I will take that time to say, buy these calendars, because the more people who buy these calendars, whether for yourselves or other people, the greater the possibility that Llewellyn Publications will continue publishing this calendar. And I want to tell you something. They have a bazillion other annuals on everything from sun signs, moon signs, spells, witchcraft, essential oils, herbs. This is the only one that is a tarot-themed annual. There aren't any others. I've checked. I visit Llewellyn Publications' website at least 3 times weekly, and there are no other annuals that have a tarot theme published by Llewellyn. And as far as other tarot calendars, all you get is the art. And they cost more than this. I've done the currency conversion from Australian dollars, euros, British pounds, British sterling to USD, United States dollars, and I will tell you, one receives more from these calendars than any of those other calendars. Don't get me wrong, the art is beautiful, the art is exquisite, but it's also like, well, is this just for this calendar? Like, are you not creating a deck? And I did in the one that I saw that was published in Australia and not being shipped to anywhere else on the planet, I didn't see anything that listed that the artists were in the process of creating tarot decks or had tarot decks that they were now offering for sale, for purchase. So I'm very biased with regards to this calendar because it's the only one of its kind out there, number one. And number two, it is the only tarot-themed annual that Llewellyn is publishing. So please buy this calendar and keep buying this calendar because that's going to make all the difference in the world. And if you have not yet done a video on your own YouTube channel about this calendar, please do so. Please do so. Because the more people who have YouTube channels do videos about this calendar, like, that's even more of an incentive for Llewellyn Publications to continue publishing it. So thank you to Llewellyn Publications for publishing yet another Llewellyn's Tarot Calendar. And of course, a huge thank you to the Barbara Moore for writing the insights, spreads, and tips that are featured in this calendar. And of course, to all of you in YouTube land, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do, and for honoring Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person, for my YouTube videos and everything he does as well. Thank you so much for all the likes, all the comments, all the shares, and all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And of course, to all of you in YouTube land, and to all of you who are not necessarily in YouTube land, thank you extra big and extra beautifully for scheduling your sessions. I am very looking forward to consulting the oracle for you or conducting an energy healing treatment for you, whatever the appointment calls for, at the divinely appointed time and place and date. Have an amazing day, have a beautiful evening, have a wonder-filled weekend, and stay tuned for the next video.